This is Middle Class Matt, and I am Sports Genius. I was 4-0 in my playoff picks in the NFL for the NFL wildcard weekend. Now, I don't expect to do that well this week. I'm not as sure about my picks as I was last week. I also picked the national championship in college football, and I picked Alabama correctly. Thought it would be a closer game and was crucified for it by people on this channel. So, it's a tough business to be in, picking games. This week, I feel like the favorites are big-time favorites. I don't know any other way to put it. I feel like the teams that are at home field advantage and, had the bye seem to be the favorite. But even though they may be the favorites, and even though a lot of the experts are saying that, always there's a wild card team that wins and goes deep. There's always one. And so it's going to be tough to pick the one or two that do that. It's going to be really difficult. It's a lot of tough games to pick. Wouldn't be surprised if I don't get but one or two of these right, even though I was 4-0 last week. It's also very hard, on at least watching TV, to get the information about the injury list and the different aspects of the game that help me pick the game. I don't look at other people's picks necessarily, but I look at the facts of who's playing, because I think nothing's going on in the NFL except for RG3's knee. That's it. There's no. I didn't even know there were playoff games. I just thought it was all about his knee. Most important thing in sports. It's tough to watch ESPN when they only talk about a guy's knee the whole time. That's boring to me. Anyway, there's some great matchups. So let's talk about those, and let's talk about real sports, like real men should, and not like a media hype machine that the ESPN is. Baltimore at Denver. Now, this is a tough one because Baltimore's playing for Ray Lewis. Now, some of that emotion could have worn off after last week. They really poured everything into that game. They won. They were impressive. But now they have to travel to Mile High Stadium and have to face the Sheriff. They have to face Peyton Manning. Most likely the MVP. Now, I don't love him. I think Adrian Peterson, and there's other guys too that I would put at MVP, but I think Manning's got a good chance to win it. Hopefully Peterson does. It'd be nice to see him get one since Manning already has so many. But Manning always does well against them. They're in Mile High Stadium. They're traveling all over there. Like I said, the emotion that they played with last week may not be there this week. And they're playing against a very good defense, much better than Indianapolis, and a much better offense than Indianapolis. So I'm going to put Denver winning this game, 30-24. Pretty close game, but I see Denver winning in their home stadium. But I would not be surprised if Baltimore wins this game. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if any of my picks, the other team wins. The next one's Green Bay, San Francisco. I really want to pick San Francisco, but it's hard to pick against Aaron Rodgers. And San Francisco has a rookie quarterback, a rookie, who usually don't play that well. Ask RG3, ask Andrew Luck. Now, there's Russell Wilson, and there's been rookie quarterbacks that have played well in the past. But that's the exception to the rule, not the rule. So, Green Bay's going in there. Aaron Rodgers is the best player in football. There's always this big thing about Alex Smith switching. I got a real quick thing, with Aaron Rodgers. The picks could have been switched. If Alex Smith was playing right now for Green Bay wouldn't win 3 or 4 games all season. They're not a really good team, or not a complete team. They have some nice parts, but they're not complete. But yet it's hard to bank against an experienced Aaron Rodgers. And the one thing that can defeat a really good team like San Francisco is a quarterback to pick them apart. We saw Eli Manning do that earlier in the season. So I'm going to go with Green Bay in this game. I think their defense is good enough to win, but they're going to give up some points. And even though Aaron Rodgers sacked a bunch, and they're going to put pressure on him in San Fran, I think he's good enough to own the run, make the plays to win the game. And I think the rookie quarterback on the other side may make mistakes and may fold under the pressure. Who knows? We'll see. Green Bay, 31-24. Seattle at Atlanta. Oh, I want to pick Seattle. They're hot, man. And Russell Wilson is the exception to the rule. He is the rookie quarterback you can count on because of his maturity and experience. But Atlanta's due. And they are a much better team than they've been in the past. They have stepped up to be the elite team. They've struggled to win that playoff game. Or they've struggled to become that elite team and to get that first playoff win. I think they get it this year. Now, the only thing in this matchup that really bothers me is that Seattle's corners are excellent. And they're big, and they're physical, and they're good enough to stop the great passing attack of Atlanta. But I heard Clemens, somehow, even though all they want to talk about is RG3's injury, even though he's not playing anymore, Clemens for Seattle's hurt, and that's going to hurt their defense. And if they don't put pressure on Matt Ryan, he should be able that even though his corners are good for Seattle, he should be able to get the ball to them enough, and they should be able to maybe even run the ball because of the guy taking Clemens' place. I believe his name's Irvin. He's not a great run stopper. So Seattle's defense is going to be shorthanded. And they've got a rookie quarterback, and they're playing in Atlanta, which is loud, and Atlanta's at home, and they're a veteran team, and they're due, and I think Matt Ryan gets his first playoff win. But it's going to be a close one. 23-20, Atlanta Falcons. Next is Houston, New England. We saw what happened early in the season. Now, that doesn't always translate to the playoffs, but I just don't see Houston, who's still a pretty young team, still new to winning. New England is no stranger to winning. They win lots of games all the time. Tom Brady at home in the playoffs, I just think they're going to play well. I think they're going to be able to beat Houston. Houston's shorthanded on defense. They've been shorthanded throughout the year with Cushing gone and other big names they've lost. I just think New England's too savvy, and I don't think Houston. They've won a playoff game, but I don't think they take that next step. I think New England's experience and their ability, and I think the defense is going to have a hard time with the matchups. And so I feel like it's going to be a little bit closer game than it was last time early in the season. 34-24, New England. Okay, these are all my picks. Check them out. This is Middle Class Matt, and check out all my videos and on this channel. I've got lots of stuff to check out, and I will see you next time. Look forward to playoff weekend. Should be some great games.